Hey folks, JD here, and today we are going to be continuing our set of SJRC F11 Pro videos, and we are going to be comparing the two quads, F11 Pro and F11. The easy way to tell is quite simple, the particular lens. See the size of the lens on the Pro versus the size of the lens on the F11. Now, before I go any further, if you haven't seen any of the F11 or F11 Pro videos and you want to catch up with everything, then you'll find every single link in the description. Okay, so let's start off. Now, let's bear in mind that these two particular quadcopters, I think, are exactly the same. Same motors, same batteries, and that's what let's start off there. That's the first thing I tried after making the unboxing video of this the other day. The first thing I tried was to replace the batteries. Now, as you can see, I've got the battery here in my left from the Pro and the battery here in my right from the F11. Once again, you can just tell by looking at these particular camera modules down here. Now, if I flip them and if I put them in, then you're going to find that they both fit and they will both power each other. They're exactly the same battery modules. They are cut in exactly the same way as well, and they are exactly the same voltage and milliamp hour. 2500. There we are. Same discharge rate as well. Absolutely fine, no problem at all. 3S, great stuff. So what I'm going to do is just flip that back again, so I have the F11 Pro with the F11 Pro and the F11 with the F11. Right, okay. So first of all, straight out the bat, it's great if you bought the F11 like me, and you have the three battery version. Then if you have the F11 Pro, then you can interchange the batteries. So I've got the 2 battery version of the Pro and the 3 battery version of the F11. So now I've got 5 batteries in total, which is fantastic that I can use with either or. Now then, let's look at the flight. The flight of both of these are exactly the same. I didn't notice there being any difference whatsoever. Both quadcopters filled me with confidence, flew extremely well for extremely good distance. The FPV relayed without there being much of an issue. I did lose a bit of FPV on the Pro, on the Pro, at about 160 meters, sorry. But as soon as I stopped the quad, the relay came back and I was able to carry on from there. So I'm not too disappointed with that, and I'm not too concerned about that either. The battery time of both of them, now for that I've got to break this down a little bit more. The weather conditions for the F11 were far nicer than for the F11 Pro. Now in between the two, the F11 battery did far better, but I was using this in speed mode 1 and speed mode 2. I was using this in speed mode 3 with full video recording. Now, even though I had video recording of this one as well, I do remember turning on and off the video far sooner than I did with the Pro. So bringing those two factors into alignment, I do think we're going to get roughly the same after a few charges of these particular of the Pro. Now, that being said, again, I've achieved 5 flights of this one so far, and about 15 with this one, maybe 20 with this particular one, and I can't find any issue whatsoever. I find them to be very, very good, very, very sturdy, very easy to fly quadcopters. Okay, they are over the 250 gram rate. This is 510. I think this is about the same, 500, 510. So you are going to have that issue if you have to register your quadcopters. These are going to be a pair that you do have to register. Now, as for the video I think is marginally better in the Pro than the F11. The F11, again, same as the Z5, I had an issue with purple or bluey hue over the video, which just tore it apart. With the Pro, I don't seem to have that. Now, it is worth noting that the day I recorded both of the videos on, I think I flew this in March or April, I believe, and I flew this in July. So 2 different type of weather fronts, but I did have roughly the same sort of coloration. It was cloudy. The sun broke eventually for this particular quadcopter, but not for the F11 from what memory serves. But I still think the Pro is marginally better, although I have to caveat that by saying I do not believe the F11 Pro to be a camera quadcopter, and neither is the F11. The cameras just aren't good enough. Now, if this was a fully upgraded 2K, 2.70, 4K camera that actually delivered the goods like the Xeno, then I wouldn't have any issues in putting that under the camera quadcopter category, but unfortunately it just isn't. I don't think. Now, that's just my personal preference after the myriad of flights I've done with both of these. Now, Another thing to bear in mind as well is charging times. You've got so many batteries with these particular quadcopters. You're looking at 3.5 to 4 hours, if not a little bit longer, of wall-powered charging. That is colossal. Now, if you have one, I very much doubt anybody has, but if you have one cable with one charger, it could take you a whole day to charge a couple of these batteries up, 3 or 4 of these batteries up. Whereas if you have 4 or 5 chargers, then you're at least going to sit with them for 4.5 hours, 3.5 to 4 hours, sorry, until the particular batteries fill up. Not that much of an issue if, like me, you're charging in the evening as you're on your computer, you're editing, you're doing this, you're doing that, and the batteries are just charging up. If, of course, I do not recommend you charging them and walking away. All batteries must be supervised at all times. Now, as for value for money, now this is something I've thought of quite a lot, actually. Now, at the time of making this video, which was last week, I think it was last Friday when I made this video, the F11 here is £176.04 for the 3 battery version currently. The SJRC F11 Pro, this one, is £210.93 with the 3 battery. So they're both 3 battery versions with the carry bag. That's what I went for in the end for both of them. And the difference between them is a £34.89 difference. Now, honestly, if you were after a quadcopter with a camera, then both of these aren't going to be for you, I would say. If you were after just a phenomenal flyer, folks, either one. They're both the same. Apart from this has got a different camera module. That is literally the only difference. So I would go for both of these if you were just looking for a flyer. Now, I've got to caveat that again, sorry folks, I have to do it, with features. Now, I find that the feature test that we did of the Pro was far superior than the F11. Follow Me worked, active track worked, waypoints work, return to home works, auto takeoff, auto landing works, gesture mode didn't work. With the F11, from memory serves, and I may have this wrong, so you may have to go back and have a look at some of the videos I've got in the description. With this one, I found that Follow Me didn't work, active track did work, waypoints worked, gesture mode didn't work, auto takeoff and auto landing worked as well. So not that much between them, but I know a couple of you like to have your Follow Me functions, and the Pro worked without there being much of an issue, albeit at a bit of a strange angle. Instead of it actually flying straight, it kind of flew at like a 45-degree angle, which kind of put me off a bit, but still it reacted when I stopped, turned around, walked away, walked backwards, walked left and right. The quadcopter adjusted accordingly, albeit a little bit slowly. As for waypoints, both of them are as quick as each other. Had no problem in either test with both of these. So I think, honestly, it is a very neck and neck match. If you were in the market for a new quadcopter, and if you were 100% going to go for an SJRC F11 model, then honestly, I would say take your pick of either of these. Honestly, for the extra £34, what I would probably do is go with the Pro, simply because it has got better video quality, but not excellent. The features worked for me without any problem on this one. It has a much nicer carry case than the F11, and all that being considered, I think that's worth the extra $34.89. If you're on a bit of a budget, but if you wanted a brushless quad, then the F11 is by far just a fantastic quad. They both are, don't get me wrong. But if you're on a bit of a budget, the F11 with one battery will do you. I think that's about £107, whereas this is about £130, I think, memory serves. So I like them both. I think they're phenomenal quadcopters. We're going to be seeing a lot more of them as the weeks go on. I hope you enjoy them. I know a lot of you have got back in touch and said, hey JD, I've bought it. It's great. Thank you very much. Do you know what? I'm just glad that you guys are having the same experience as I'm having with this, because I'm loving it. Absolutely. Hand on my heart, loving these particular quadcopters. I think they are brilliant. Apart from, they do have a couple of flaws, as mentioned in this video. Alright, my friends, I'm going to stop bending your ear. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.